This is Emily Keenum with the Virginia Early Childhood Foundation. I'm here to talk with you about the role of healthy beverages in early care environments. The tagline, "Milk for Meals, Water for Thirst," represents best practice thinking in childhood obesity prevention, but also in overall good child nutrition. We're going to spend some time discussing beverages and how they support or don't support child nutrition. And in particular, we're going to look at added sugar and why added sugars are a problem for young children's health and healthy weight, and explore the best practice beverage recommendations by child age. These environmental best practice strategies can help educators make sure that your early care environment is really supporting optimal child nutrition and overall health. This ABCs of a Healthy Me framework was developed by the Nemours Foundation and gives us an easy structure to remember some of the key best practice recommendations that support child healthy weight and overall health promotion. We're going to be looking at the D, of course, which is drink milk and water, and thinking about how educators can improve their beverage practices and make sure that this critical health opportunity is one that you are sure to promote for young children. Sugar-sweetened beverages are a key contributor, and many researchers actually identify them as the #1 contributor of added sugar and contributing to childhood overweight and obesity. When early care programs make a commitment to serve healthy beverages, they can make a lasting difference in the health of young children. So let's think about the beverages we see children today drinking. Right here are some of the beverages that many kids are having in their homes, and a couple of them maybe even in your early care setting. What you can see in front of you are the ounces that are contained in each of these drinks. We know that sometimes, for example, a Slurpee in number 7 is 41 ounces, which would be considered multiple servings, but a child and an adult may actually consume the entire amount. What's relevant for our purposes in this discussion is how much sugar are we finding in each of these drinks that many kids are drinking on a regular basis. Here you can see the sugar counts in each of these drinks. So this Capri Sun, which is a pretty common drink for kids, has 6 teaspoons of sugar. That doesn't seem like too much. The Hershey's milk has 7 teaspoons of sugar. You can see that our Slurpee with 23.5 teaspoons and the Mountain Dew with 19, those are topping off a lot of sugar consumed in one sitting by a child. The recommended daily added sugar, according to the American Heart Association and also pediatricians, is for children that they only have 4 teaspoons each day. Just for your interest, for women, it's 6 teaspoons, and men, it's 9 teaspoons. And what you can remember is that every single one of those drinks exceeded the recommended daily added sugar allocation. So when a child finishes that one Capri Sun, they are already over the recommended sugar allocation for the day. What this means in terms of the daily diet experience of young children is that if they're also having a cookie, or if they're having graham crackers, or if they're having other sugar-added foods, they are now greatly exceeding the recommended amount of sugar in the child's diet. If you're curious about how to calculate how much sugar is in the food and drinks that children are consuming, 1 teaspoon of sugar is equal to 4 grams. It's about what you'll find in a sugar packet. Many researchers on child health and child diets refer to sugar-sweetened beverages as liquid candy. So when you're giving a child, for example, a Gatorade or a Sprite, in essence, you're giving them liquid candy. Sometimes adults are not quite sure how to figure out how many grams of sugar are in a drink that a child is getting ready to consume or a sweet treat that a child's getting ready to eat, this is a really simple way of figuring it out. You can see the arrow is showing you where you can typically find the sugar count recorded. And to figure out how many teaspoons are in there, you divide by 4. So for this particular example, 13 grams of sugar divided by 4 is 3.25 teaspoons of sugar. So if you were to serve a child the 3 cookies that are noted in the serving size here, that child would be just under their daily recommended sugar amount. So that means no sweet drinks and no other sweet treats ought to be served to this child if we are supporting their optimal health. Let's make sure we're all on the same page. What is a sugar-sweetened beverages? Juice drinks that do not have a notation that they're 100% juice are considered a sugar-sweetened beverage. So that Capri Sun that you saw in the earlier slide typically is not 100% juice. So it would be a sugar-sweetened beverage. Sports drinks like Gatorades, energy drinks, sweet teas, flavored milks, sodas, etc. All of those are considered sugar-sweetened beverages. For young children, the recommended allocation of sugar-sweetened beverages is 0. We know that the sugar-sweetened beverages will displace other nutritious intake, and that when a child is drinking their sugar, they are less likely to be hungry for other foods. Studies find that kids today are more likely to have a daily sugar-sweetened beverage than they are to have a daily vegetable. We also know that these drinks are key contributors to childhood obesity and diseases like diabetes and fatty liver, and they're also associated with more cavities in children. Since 1970, the sales of sugar-sweetened beverages are up by 500%. The only healthy beverages for children are water, milk, and limited 100% juice. So when you're thinking about what you want to be serving children in your care, milk for meals, water for thirst is the tagline that Best Practice recommends. If you are confident that children in your care are not being served juices at home, you could consider limited 100% juice. Let's look at the by age recommendations. For infants between birth and 5 months, only breast milk or iron-fortified formula is recommended. No water, no juice, no other foods. So this is exclusive formula or breast milk. By the time a child is 6 to 11 months, breast milk again, iron-fortified formula also. But at this age, once a child has finished their bottle, it's very appropriate for caregivers to offer them a teaspoon of water, plain, no added sweeteners, no bubbles, anything like that. This can begin to develop a palate for children for plain water and help them get accustomed to choosing water as a beverage. Between 6 and 11 months, no juices are recommended, not even 100% juice for these children. For toddlers, we want to make sure that they have access to water all day long. Water should be visible, available, and once kids are dexterously able to do so, if they can self-serve, that's best practice. Whole milk, not flavored, should be served with meals and with snacks. Up to 4 ounces daily of 100% fruit and vegetable juice is within the recommendation, but it's certainly not required by early care settings. For preschoolers between the ages of 2 and 5, again, encouraging water, making it visible, available for self-serve is the best practice recommendation. And for the milk, fat-free and 1% is recommended, not flavored, again, and this can be served with meals and with snacks. Up to 4 ounces of 100% fruit and vegetable juice daily is also within the recommendation, but again, it's not necessary for early care settings, particularly if you are thinking the child is having juice at home. We know there's lots of influences on how children learn about drinks and choose and figure out what they actually like. Family, what is being served to them by friends and caregivers, what they see when they look all around, lots of encouragement to children to choose sugar-sweetened drinks. We want to invite you as the early care environment to influence children in a healthy direction, to help them learn that milk and water are the priority choices that are for their best health. Let's think quickly, what are some of the ways early care programs can promote water drinking and create a healthy beverages culture? Certainly you can serve only healthy beverages, and make sure that the visible, accessible, self-service water is something that you've thought through. How can you help make sure that children have access to water? How can you encourage them? Environmental reinforcements, specific education, teaching children about water, reaching out to families and promoting that Milk for Meals, Water for Thirst message, and certainly taking a look at your policy and including a healthy beverages policy can increase your environment's reinforcement of healthy beverage practices. Visible, accessible, self-serve, and offered. There's some pretty practical ways that you can do this. If water is somewhere the children can't reach, think about how you can have a safe and lightweight step stool. Lots of providers will use child-sized pitchers so kids can practice pouring. They'll use small clear cups so kids can see when the water has reached the top. Having a cooler with spigots, those can go outside if you want, but they can also offer kids the opportunity to pour their own water. Some programs will use individual water bottles and either send those home for washing, or they can sometimes have staff on site wash them. Cups can be brought in and returned home with the child's name or a symbol on them, and sippy cups can be marked with toddlers' photos or symbols. What you see below is an example of an early care program who kept those sippy cups ready, and they would carry them outdoors for outdoor playtime, but also the children just knew if they were thirsty, they were always welcome to go grab their personal sippy cup to have some water. We also know that when children and parents look around, it can be helpful for them to see reinforcement of your ideas and knowledge about beverages. So posters or bulletin boards, pictures of children with healthy beverages, all of these visual reinforcements can remind parents, and maybe they even remind staff. Some programs will put on their planning schedule that every day there are 2 regular water times. So for example, when kids come back inside after they've been playing outside, a teacher can say, "What time is it?" And the kids can respond, "It's water time." So children can know that this is a regular part of their daily activities, and it builds that habit of choosing water as a first choice beverage. It can be important to make sure that you are serving healthy beverages to adults too. If you're talking Milk for Meals, Water for Thirst to children, and then you have a wide range of sodas for the adults that they're drinking in front of the kids, that's not a consistent message. So certainly in front of children, make sure that adults are role modeling choosing healthy beverages. Water can be livened up. Certainly if you cut up some strawberries or kiwi, and they can infuse that water with a little flavor, that makes water more lively and certainly pretty to look at. You can integrate water into your learning experiences. So kids can have fun at a water table, or they can pour. There's lots of ways to make sure that water is present and something that kids are looking at and being exposed to. It can be really important to engage families, let families know what your water practices are. The role modeling is always impactful for families. The newsletter, social media, those are all opportunities to send home that positive message and let families know why you're choosing Milk for Meals, Water for Thirst. You can send home great recipes that help parents expose children to infused water, serving healthy beverages at events, hosting events that share information about healthy beverages. These are all practical ways to let families know what your beverage choices are. You can certainly also share your beverage policy, which we'll talk about next, and encourage at-home water challenges so parents can think about fun ways to be encouraging their children to drink water every single day at home as well. Some policy sample suggestions are provided here. Lots of policies might pick one or two of these. Some really sturdy policies will mention each of these best practice recommendations. So pointing out whether your staff is going to drink healthy drinks in front of children is a terrific policy sample. Being clear that your program will not serve liquid candy or sugar sweetened beverages to children can be an important policy message. I think it can be helpful for parents to know that this is the recommendation from the American Academy of Pediatrics. This is what will help children be healthiest. You can indicate in your policy what you would like parents to do to support that. So this sample gives you the idea that you can say parents need to send in a cup every single day for water that will be returned in the tote bag for washing. It can be useful to indicate that you don't plan to serve juice. Some parents still think that juice is healthy for children. Sometimes parents are still serving kids juice all day long. This is an opportunity for you to share the new information about juice and how important it is to limit juice consumption. So this next sample is more explicit, where it's saying ABC Childcare serves only 4 to 6 ounces of juice per day. So that's also access to water, making sure that you are spotlighting, that you're ensuring water is visible, accessible, available all day long, indoors and outdoors. These are all terrific policy sample messages that can really let parents know about your commitment to serving healthy beverages while children are in your care. So we'll close with this. There are lots of terrific resources that can help you think through how your classroom can promote healthy beverages and other healthy habits that cultivate child appropriate developmental healthy weight and general overall healthy growth and development. So please feel free to visit those and see what else you could do to support the children in your class. Thank you.